Thank you. Good to be here, and it's really exciting to present this project that we're running in my city of Solna. So we just started it up, and we call it Secure and Reliable IoT for Better Living in Elderly Care. Oops, I'm not going to stand there. The project's goal is to design and implement and deploy a model digital healthcare system using open internet standards for connectivity and updatable PKI-based security for all IoT devices. And this project is partly financed by Vinnova, and it's a joint effort between RISE, Nexus, Aliato, and City of Solna. And we're also an IoT hub as part of Internet of Things Sweden. Well, my name is Helen Holst, as I was presented, and I'm the CIO of City of Solna. And in early spring this year, Shahid came to me and asked, do you want to be part of this really exciting application for a Vinnova project? And it was going to be about security and creating standards that would help us, also solving a lot of our challenges in the services that we provide as a municipality. So of course that sounded really exciting, and we applied, and then in June we ended up or found out that the project was approved. So in September this year we slowly started up the project, and I became the overall project manager, although Shahid here is the technical project manager. So I think this presentation will probably be different from what you heard earlier today. I won't focus on the technical details. You can save those questions for Shahid. So I will focus more on why is this important for a city like Solna? Why are we interested in this area, and why is it a good idea to work together, public sector, research institutes, and private commercial companies? And also why elderly care, and then really what's in it for all of us, what's going to come out of this project. So, but first a little bit about my city and why we are working on in these kind of projects. Solna is one of Sweden's most rapidly growing municipalities. We're 75 years old or young this year. There are about 10,000 companies in Solna with 80,000 workplaces. There are about 70,000 people commuting in and 30,000 commuting out. So it's quite a vibrant city. And as perhaps some of you already know, one of the parts of Solna is Hagastaden, which is between Solna and Stockholm. And there we already have a lot of, with new Karolinska and the Karolinska Institute, leading edge work that is improving public health, of course. And the population of Solna is the same number as the number of workplaces, actually 80,000, and we expect it to grow till about 100,000 in 2030. And of our population, there's about 12,000 that are 65 years or older, and relatively small part, but important part, that are receiving some sort of home help services or stay in some of our elderly care facilities. And also, as our city grows, it's really important for us to stick to our 4 leading goals. And everything we do should allow for diversity, creativity, and also to create great experience for whether it's citizens, companies, or visitors to Solna. We think it's very important with good quality and sustainable resources in all services that we provide in the city. Also, well, not the least in elderly care, where this can be a challenge, and also to make sure that our services are attractive and safe. And of course, everything we do should be sustainable, both from a financial, human, and environmental perspective. So that's also something we went in with into this project. And also everything we try to do in our city is a lot about the local development, finding solutions that fit our education, schools, preschool, elderly care, the city environment with parks and everything. But it's all like in a global context, as a, well, in Sweden, relatively large city, but still very small. We can't handle all these challenges on our own, and to be able to take advantage of the technological development, we need to work together with others, and that's why it's such a good match with this kind of projects. Yeah, and again, really important that it's sustainable. So we have, just to give some more background also, we have some various initiatives that involve IoT. There haven't been like a strategy behind that, and there's no overall information architecture concept on how to use the data that is generated in these different initiatives we have. Some are in school environment, more for education purposes. Some are these smart waste bins that you can see everywhere. And then some are within elderly care. But it's really solutions that come from different suppliers that don't work together. Maybe we didn't think when we signed the original agreement, think of who is owning the data, what can we do with it. So what I want to do before we end up with like a new IoT spaghetti, then instead of the just regular old IT spaghetti, we want to get a strategy, and also to be able to use solutions that are based on open standards, where we can combine different solutions from different vendors and actually then create a sustainable solution that can be developed over time. Also, we have the demand or pressure from our citizens. This is partly in Swedish, but this is from a survey that's been done every year the last few years, where citizens of all of Sweden's municipalities are asked questions about digitalization and what their views are on that. And what they say this year is that 1 out of 4 thinks that the municipalities are living up to their expectations on digital services. So 3 out of 4 are not thinking that. 2 out of 3 thinks that we can do a lot more, and we should prioritize new technologies and digitization in the services that we provide. And the one up there is 6 out of 10 are positive to using new technologies in care and health area. So what we've seen year by year is that the expectations from our citizens increase, and also their trust in new technologies. So that's, of course, both positive but also a challenge to keep up with. And all this in combination, again, made it really important for us to be part of this project, where we, in a joint effort together then with RISE, Nexus and Aliato, are aiming to, again, what I said before, design, implement, and deploy a model for smart healthcare systems. And the also, not only, I mean, the focus is elderly care, but the idea is that we should be able to apply the solution in other areas to help also healthy people receive better services from the public and private sector. And also more about the solution, which I won't go into too much. We call it a lightweight yet automated government-grade end-to-end security, where you should be able to have this between private households or our elderly care homes and the smart care providers. So this is something that should be open and available to be used by everyone once we've ended this project. Some of my expectations on this is really that we should be able to combine technology with human care. Once we start talking about replacing, there's a lot of concern among both the employees and the people that receive care. But it's not about replacing. It could be about replacing specific tasks with technology and then being able to provide more human care. And somewhere in between there, that's where I hope that we can end up. Because we do have the challenge that the elderly become more, and the resources, the personnel with the right competence is becoming more and more scarce. So we need to find other ways in providing care. But we also have the challenge that new technology can be very costly, and to be able to make those investments, we need to justify by actually removing tasks and not going having the technology there, but keeping the same amount of resources for that specific area. So somehow we need to actually fully trust the technology and not replace, but complement the resources. We talked about silos, and that's why I put a silo here. Today we just have these silo solutions that don't work together, and it's really difficult for a single municipality to get out of this and to put demands on our current vendors. So we want more horizontal solutions where we can combine solutions from different vendors, and where we also can share this with other municipalities. So instead of the silo, we see that it's more like, can't really see here, a mesh with that's really going to take away the vendor locked barriers and encourage competition. A little bit just about the solution. In a few words, open standards, I talked about that, and you need to ask more detailed questions to our technology lead. We're using open standards. We're also going to test and use multiple connectivity to provide more reliable connectivity. In case something goes down, at least the most important information should be transmitted. Another very important part of this project is the secure software updates for the IoT devices. And well, the goal of the project from a technological perspective is to come up with this end-to-end solution that can be applied to practically any area. And what are we providing? Again, my expectations are big on how we can use this in the future in the city, and also that we should learn a lot from this. But we provide the real needs and the real homes. The testing environment will be in Solna in elderly care. And there are some key areas that we have selected that are extra important for us. And it's the perceived safety and security of both the personnel, the people under care, and their relatives. It's helping with communication and removing the feeling of feeling alone, how you can use technology in that way. And then, of course, to finding more cost-efficient ways for providing care. Yeah. I have some details here, but I'll just skip all that text and end up with saying that, as you know, we just started the project, and maybe I didn't say, but it's a 3-year project. So we started it, we're now in the design phase, and I'm really excited to what we're going to find out and all the testing that's going to take place the next 2 years. And we're also in this to be able to share the knowledge and the experience that we gain from this project. So we look forward to developing this further with you guys. So thank you. And
thank you, Helen.